Alright, so I've played a variety of different VR games, but none of them do I think are as underrated as virtual reality. So I thought, hey, why not make a whole video on it, explaining the entire plot. So if at any point in this video you think, damn, that sounds really cool, stop watching the video and go buy the game for yourself. So let's begin. Alright, so virtual reality takes place in the far future where AIs and robots have taken over the world, and your job is to do their bidding and be the robot slave. Now, when you boot up the game, you're greeted by Chaz, who runs a company called Activitude, and Activitude's job is to basically give each robot its own human slave. However, Chaz tries to keep things positive and never says that, oh, you're a slave to robots, and he just treats it like it's your job, and not really the fact that you're essentially being a slave to them. Anyways, after a short tutorial, he tells you all about the different virtual realities and simulations you can go into, as every AI has their own simulation which they can customize and live in. The way you get from one AI simulation to another is by wearing different VR headsets, hence the name virtual reality. However, when you wear a VR headset and you go into a new simulation, the mood and vibe around you completely changes. 1 second you're in an ocean, and the next you're in a garden. And I think that's reason number one why I like this game so much, because it goes over so many different emotions and vibes. But suddenly, as you're getting relaxed, the simulations you go into start to get more distorted and glitchy, like this one where the walls are made of spikes. Or this one which is out in the countryside, which looks like a Backrooms level. Did I mention this game reminds me of the Backrooms? And there's also a voice talking to you which is called the Human Union, which wants to rise up against the robots. But you've got work to do. Chaz gives you your first headset to your first AI client that you're going to be working for, and it takes you to a kitchen. Now, all the AIs and robots in this game take the form of everyday objects, like this one which takes the form of butter. The butter instructs you to put toast onto him, whilst he gives a big speech about how humans desire. If you look behind you, you'll see a counter which has how much toast you've stuck to him, leading you to believe that this could be a minigame where you go around to different AIs doing minigames for them. But you remember the Human Union and those corrupted headsets, and hope they'll come back to shake things up later. After a few minutes, you start to get bored and annoyed of butter, but then suddenly, this happens. You're suddenly thrusted into the backstage area where everything goes down. Now, I like this scene because of how... I don't even know how I like this scene. I mean, sure, it's cool, but I can't really put my finger on why I think it's so great. I mean, it's not very unexpected because the whole Backrooms crap happened before, but I'm getting off topic. Anyways, you are suddenly get captured by Chaz and put back to the normal area. He shows you to your new hub area, your new home, where it has all the reviews of all the AIs you've served on the right, your stats in the middle, and some cool stuff to play around with on the left, all whilst cheerful music plays. However, it's not all cheerful because you're kind of suspicious. After everything that just happened, the whole hub area and him being really happy all seems weirdly fake. A golden special headset is presented to you, which leads to HR, where all your questions will be answered. However, it's locked behind a cage, mostly as a bribe to make you continue doing work for AI. He will reward you with the golden headset eventually. Getting back to work, your next AI you must serve takes the form of an entire electrical grid for a city, and the task they tell you to do is to just recreate their favourite memory where balloons fly away from a parade. There isn't much to talk about, and it's probably the most boring section in the game, so I'm just gonna move on. The third AI you must work for is called Pinwheel, and he owns a garden, and he asks you to simply water his plants. There's only one small problem. He acts like a 2-year-old and sounds like an 8-year-old paedophile. I hate him so much. I hope he dies. All he does is sing and whistle whilst you just have to water the plants over and over and over. Now at this point, you probably hate all the AIs, from the simply annoyingness of Butter, the straight up devil spawn of Pinwheel, and the long boring speech of the electrical grid. The only AI you probably like is your mentor, Chaz, who's always been there for you, but now he's starting to doubt you and not like you very much due to the poor reception you've been giving him from the AI reviews. This annoyingness to the AIs comes full ahead in the 4th AI you must work for, who takes the form of a boat and asks you to just sit there on the island and enjoy the sunset for 10 minutes, just sitting there as he gives a speech. However, if you're a speedrunner like me and you've played the game 6 times, you'll know that in all of the AI jobs you can do, you can mess up everything and skip over them, because they get so angry at how bad you are at the job that they just kick you out. So that's what I did there, but I'm not going to spoil how you do it because I want you to buy the game yourself. And now we come to the last AI you're required to work for, the Tumbleweed, who asks you to just tumble him around. That's kind of it. Now at this point you're probably getting really bored just serving AI clients, but then suddenly the lights go out and you get a call from the Human Union from earlier. Remember, as you answer the call, the phone transforms into a VR headset and it forces you to wear it as you're dropped back into the backroom-like corrupted virtual realities. Here, the Human Union gives you the ability to suction up objects and reboot objects that have been destroyed. Naturally, with this power, the next AI simulation you go into, you try to suck up everything, and upon doing this, you're dropped back into the backstage area you were left in all that while ago. And now with more time on your hands, you can explore it a bit more. Once you explore it a bit more, you find a new special headset, and upon wearing it, you go even deeper into virtual reality, finding an elevator. Anyways, in this elevator, you have to solve a short puzzle. Once you solve this short puzzle, you find a headset, and when you wear that headset, you find another puzzle, which when solved gives you another headset, and you can tell where this is going. This is where the main meat of the game is, in which you go to different virtual realities, explore them a bit, and then find a VR headset in those virtual realities to go even deeper into virtual reality. This is why the game is called virtual reality. And to spice things up a bit, there are multiple VR headsets you can find in one world that lead to different places, making it more so a maze of which VR headsets you need to wear to get deeper and deeper. Anyways, after exploring a bunch, you find yourself in the archives, where many previous people who worked at Activitude are trapped in time loops. Here we find Bernice, who, after helping us, tells us to go meet with the old CEO of the company, Hernandez. After we go to meet with Hernandez goes on a little bit of a rant on how he owns a company called Activate, which likes creating AIs and robots, and they have a rival company called Latitude, which creates virtual simulations and vacations. The next person we go to meet up with in the archive time loops is called Eliza, who is Chaz's partner and also is the CEO of Latitude, which is Activitude's rival. Now Chaz, who, if you didn't remember, is the tutorial robot from the beginning, took over Activate, who makes AIs, and Latitude, who makes vacations, and merged them together to create Activitude, which creates vacations for AIs, and then trapped both of the current CEOs into the archive and trapped them in time loops. And to make things worse, it turns out a bunch of the slave humans which have been working for him, he has uploaded into the simulation and trapped in his mind. So essentially, Chaz is a fusion of a bunch of different souls which have worked at Activitude. Pretty dark. So Eliza tells you to go back to Chaz and unplug him and reset him. and make him go back to the way he was before he absorbed all the souls. When you return to the hub zone, you see that the golden special headset is no longer in its cage and you can now wear it, and when you do so you see Chaz hooked up to a bunch of cables with all the coffins of the souls he's uploaded around him. Anyways, after a short boss battle, you are then greeted by just some code. Now, there is a special cutscene you can see after this code, however, I'm not going to tell you how to get it to encourage you to get the game for yourself, however, you're probably just going to watch a let's play, but please don't do that. Anyways, if you want to, you can take the headset off, and it's revealed that everything that happened in the game didn't actually happen, and the whole thing was just a game in a game.